Welcome to this explainer. Today, I'm stepping in as your expert healthcare revenue cycle management trainer. We're going to completely standardize how AR associates investigate pending claims, and absolutely most importantly, how to accelerate that revenue recovery. Because let's be honest, if you've ever felt like your claims are just sitting in some giant black hole waiting for a payer to respond, you're definitely in the right place. We're going to transform you from just sitting on hold to actively driving real results. Okay, let's just quickly run through our roadmap for today's training. We're going to be covering defining a claim and process, your pre-call analysis checklist, exactly what questions to ask payer representatives, the claim resolution workflow, a standard caller note template, and finally, a quick knowledge check to wrap it all up. All right, Section 1, defining claim in process. First things first, we really need to ground ourselves in the actual scenario we're dealing with here. Like, what exactly are we looking at when a claim gets stuck? So picture this. You're reviewing a file and boom, you see CARC0133. Definitely take note of that code. This is the exact definition from the payer indicating a pending status. It literally translates to the disposition of the claim or service is pending further review. Basically, it means the payer has your claim in their hands, but they just haven't made that final decision to pay or deny it yet. They're holding it up. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that claim in process simply means the claim arrived safely at the payer and is actively being processed, or as we say in the industry, adjudicated. Now, adjudication is really just a fancy word for the payer's internal review process. That's where they're checking patient eligibility, looking at provider contracts, and verifying medical necessity. Your whole job as an AR associate is to figure out exactly why it's still stuck in this phase and how to push it across the finish line. Moving right along to Section 2, Pre-Call Analysis Checklist. Now, before you even think about picking up that phone to call a payer, we really need to talk about your preparation. This is all about working smarter, not harder. You should literally only call the payer when you absolutely cannot find the claim receive date or the normal processing time through online portals, your clearinghouse reports, or previous notes in your billing system. Calling takes so much time. Sometimes you're just sitting on hold for 20 solid minutes. So if you can find the standard turnaround time, or TAT, online, do it. Your time is incredibly valuable, and efficiency is totally the name of the game in revenue cycle management. Okay, this checklist right here is going to turn you into a bit of a detective. Before you take any action at all, you have to determine, is this a fresh claim, or has someone already been working on it? Hop into your billing system. If you see previous notes in the comments or resubmissions in the history, partial payments, or any appeals on file, well, you're dealing with a pre-works claim. You've got to read that history so you don't just go and repeat someone else's mistakes. Now, if there are absolutely no notes, no resubmissions, and no payments, boom, it's a fresh claim. And knowing that completely dictates your next move and tells you exactly where to start your investigation. That brings us to Section 3, Questions for Payer Representatives. Let's move straight into the action phase. What exactly are you supposed to say when your pre-call analysis proves that, yep, you do actually have to make that phone call? Listen closely, because these are the 5 mandatory questions you absolutely must ask the payer representative. First, get the exact claim received date. Second, ask for their standard processing turnaround time, that standard TAT. Now, if that standard TAT has already come and gone, you immediately pivot to question 3. What is the exact reason for the processing delay? Question 4 is an absolute game changer. Ask about interest payment applicability. Seriously. Asking about interest isn't just checking a box on a protocol list, it's a massive lever to hold the payer accountable when they violate their own standard processing times. And finally, question 5. Always ask if they require any additional information or medical documentation to expedite the processing. Do not, I repeat, do not let them off the phone until you have all 5 of these answers. All right, Section 4, Claim Resolution Workflow. So you've got your answers from the rep. Great, but how do we actually process the resolution? This is your exact physical workflow to secure the claim. If they told you they needed more info like we just talked about in question 5, provide it right then and there via phone or fax. Next, and this is completely non-negotiable, secure the payer's specific claim number. Then, make sure everything is documented by getting a call reference number. That is your concrete proof that this conversation actually happened. Finally, firmly set your follow-up date in the billing system based strictly on the TAT they gave you. Like if they said it takes 10 more days, your follow-up date goes in for 11 days. Simple as that. Moving to Section 5, Standard Caller Note Template. We really need to talk about how to properly document everything you just did, because we all know the golden rule in healthcare RCM. If it isn't documented, it didn't happen. You are going to want to lock this template in your brain. This is your completely standardized AR caller note format for a claim in process scenario. Notice how incredibly clean, generic, and universally understood this is across the entire billing system. You just record the date of service, the amount, the exact phone number you dialed, the rep's name, the received date, the TAT, the claim number, and the call reference number. When the next AR associate opens his account tomorrow or next week, they will know exactly where things stand in a matter of seconds. And finally, Section 6, Knowledge Check. Okay, it's time to see what's stuck. Let's test what we've learned in this explainer to make absolutely sure you're ready for the field. Question 1. Let's see if you remember our strategic lever here. When should you ask the payer representative about interest payments? Take a second and really think about when that question actually holds weight. Is it A, every single time you call, B, only if the normal processing turnaround time is crossed, or C, before asking for the standard TAT? Got your answer? Let's hit question 2. Moving back to our core definition, what does claim in process actually mean? Think way back to that CAR C0133 code we broke down earlier. Is the answer A, rejected by the payer, B, received by the payer and rejected, or C, received by the payer and is in process, meaning it's in adjudication? And our last one, question 3, dipping back into your pre-call analysis. If the claim is rejected at the clearinghouse, can we check the reason? Remember how much we talked about trying to save time before ever picking up the phone? Is it A? No, you just have to call the payer. B? Yes, by checking the clearinghouse rejection report. Or C? Yes, but you have to go ask the healthcare provider. All right, here is your answer key. Let's see how you did. For question 1, it's B. You only leverage that interest question if they have actually crossed their normal processing time. For question 2, it's C. The claim is actively in adjudication. And for question 3, it's B. Always, always check that clearinghouse rejection report to save yourself a totally unnecessary phone call. Which leaves us with this final, really important thought. How much revenue is sitting in process at your facility right this very minute, just waiting for someone to ask the right questions? By applying this systematic approach to your pre-call analysis, firing off those 5 precise questions, and standardizing your notes every single time, you're completely transforming your workflow. Mastering these steps ensures you are no longer just sitting around waiting on payers. You are actively driving real revenue recovery for your healthcare organization. Share and subscribe for free courses on Decode Healthcare with Harshal.